The Newsday continues here in One News Now Business. I'm Diego Castro. Here are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate fronts. Analysts predict Philippine banks to remain resilient amid secondary effects stemming from the recent banking turmoil in the United States and Europe. For one, the International Monetary Fund believes the credit growth in the country will remain healthy. This as the IMF sees the Philippine banking system to have sufficient liquidity and capital buffers and limited exposure to troubled banks like Silicon Valley Bank and Credit Suisse, Business World reports. S&P Global Ratings also says Philippine banks will be able to manage any contagion effects from the global banking turmoil. S&P also says secondary effects from the turmoil may increase investor risk aversion and would lead to higher funding costs for banks. Budget Chief Amina Pangandaman says some U.S. investors are interested in proposed Maharlika Investment Fund. Pangandaman told Business World that members of the U.S. Business Council asked about the MAF during a sideline meeting. Secretary Pangandaman is part of the economic team who met with business groups and in Washington, D.C. earlier this month. She said that while the MIF structure has not been finalized, U.S. business groups are willing to help the Philippines organize it. The House of Representatives has approved the MIF bill, but the Senate plenary is still deliberating the counterpart measure. More Filipinos are now registering their SIMs, with 2 days left until the April 26th deadline. As of the latest tally last April 21, nearly 78.6 million SIMs have been registered with the government. However, this is still barely half of the active SIMs across the country. The Bangko Sentral has called on financial institutions to urge clients to register their SIMs to head off any disruption in digital payment transactions. Financial institutions were advised to take proactive measures to ensure complied with the registration requirement. Meanwhile, Globe Telecom explains its utilization of the emergency cell broadcast to encourage subscribers to register their SIMs. In a statement, Globe said it used the ECB and implemented the emergency blast within, quote, acceptable parameters. Globe also says the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council gave no objections to the emergency blast being used to encourage SIM registration. A little relief for motorists out there as oil companies are rolling back fuel prices this week. Effective Tuesday, April 25, prices of gasoline will be cut by 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter. Diesel, on the other hand, will see prices down by 70 centavos per liter, while kerosene will be cheaper by 20 centavos per liter. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Occidental Mindoro is appealing to the national government to address power supply issues. Governor Eduardo Gadiano said he has already sent out letters to concerned agencies for assistance. Power outages for as long as 20 hours per day have prompted the provincial government to declare a state of calamity. Residents continue to complain about the impact of the power crisis to their daily lives and businesses. The issue stems from Occidental Mindoro Consolidated Power Corporation not being able to supply enough power. This is due to the delayed subsidy payments of the National Power Corporation needed to run power plants.
Sumagot ang DOE, pero mga plans pa rin eh. Yung sinasabi niyang emergency purchase ng power supply, 1 year pa yung sinasabi niya, immediate na yung kailangan namin, hindi na namin kailangan maghintay ng 1 year.
Over in nearby Oriental Mindoro, more residents affected by the oil spill can now avail of emergency loans. The Government Service Insurance System, or GSIS, opened its emergency loan in 5 more areas in the province. These are Calapan City and the municipalities of Baco, San Teodoro, Socorro, and Victoria. Members may borrow up to 20,000 pesos, while those with existing loans may apply for 40,000 pesos to pay off their balance. GSIS President and General Manager Wick Veloso said loan applications are open until May 17. Business owners in Puerto Galera have begun feeling the pinch in local tourism as the oil spill in Oriental Mindoro have contaminated local waters. According to the local tourism office, around 700 tourists have canceled their vacations in Puerto Galera last week. This as the Environment Department found that only 9 of 35 stations in the area passed the water quality test. While the local tourism industry tries to push through business as usual, some local business owners air their concerns about how the oil spill has begun to affect their livelihood.
Napakahirap sir dahil talagang ang sunod-sunod na yun sir yung maraming tanong sa amin sa Messenger. Ate Lani, kumusta ang Puerto Galera? At ate, hindi ba kami mapapikton?
Wala naman tayong magagawa dahil natatakot sila sa oil spill na balita. So kahit na sinabihan ko sila na pwede naman ibalik ang pera nila kung may oil spill. So nangyari talagang natakot sila pumunta sa Puerto Galera.
The Environment Department confirmed that water quality in Puerto Galera deteriorated due to the oil spill. However, the agency notes that water quality has long been a problem for the area.
Itong Puerto Galera, ito daan ito ng mga vessel, no, ng mga barko natin. So, dumadaong patungo sa Calapan yan. So, based na sa ating water quality, even before the oil spill, talagang medyo hindi na sila pumapasa doon sa water quality. Nung nagkaroon ng oil spill, medyo nagpa-fluctuate yung minsan nag-i-improve pa, pero bagsak pa din.
Commuters, don't forget your masks when taking the train. As the Transportation Department says, the mask mandate will be strictly enforced across all lines. The Transportation Department says wearing of face masks will remain mandatory inside the MRT 3 and both LRT lines 1 and 2. This as the department maintains preventive measures against COVID-19 amid rising cases across the country. The policy, however, becomes optional for the PNR line, which the agency considers an open air space. Aside from mask wearing, the DOTR encouraged the riding public to get boosted against COVID-19. And those are the top business stories of the hour. I'm Diego Castro. Join us again at 2 p.m. We are One News. All sides, all the time.